A very good Sunday afternoon, my people. The weather is beautiful. It is a really awesome autumn day. So we'll walk, make sure we enjoy this beautiful fall season. So let's start our part one breathing exercise. And today I think we will talk a little more about why this type of breathing is so important, why it's called longevity breathing, right? We breathe in from our nose as deep as we can, out from our mouth, as out as we can. And then make sure that 5.5 second rule, you follow that every single day. And whatever you have a chance, make sure you remember, breathe, breathe, and breathe. 5.5 seconds.
I'm sorry, Dr. Liu, we've lost you. Hang tight, everybody. Start stretching. Dr. Liu will be right with us. We are not able to hear you or see you, Dr. Liu.
And now we'll do our second part. We'll do our 10 energy movements. We'll do 5 in each movement. The first movement, we're balancing our triple burner. That's Sanjiu. That will help to balance our lymph system, our fascia system, and our body fluid. We're pushing up as if we could touch the sky. Create a healthy boundary, energy circle for ourselves. Next movement. Strengthen our immune system. We know, right? This finger, this hand to balance our colon, lungs, and also strengthen our pericardium system. Now in this movement, we're balancing our gut. That is the long tube. One hand, we're touching the sky, the other pushing earth. And in this movement, we are strengthening our neck system, upper spine system, balance our 7 basic emotions, and then also this means surrender. Now, this is good for the heart system. Balance the heart fire, strengthen our small intestines. And this movement is good for back tightness, and sometimes people feel their back sore. Also when they have too much gas. This is a movement we are into strengthen our lower back and also stretch out our tendon. Because of the sudden weather change, our tendon is not as flexible as it is as normal. Today, Don't overstretch yourself. And wait until when the weather is just kind of, our body is used to the sudden weather change, and then you can stretch out more. So that will help to prevent sports injury. We'll open up our dual meridian lines, strengthen our longevity line. Now our liver. Ha! 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 This movement, if people have kidney stone, pelvic floor inflammation, prostate inflammation, uterus or ovarian inflammation, and this is a good movement. So the next two are our longevity movements. So now our forehead to our knee. And this is good for our meridian line. Open up all the meridian lines. Strengthen our kidney system, liver system, and gallbladder, stomach and spleen. And then the last one really is to open up the Du, that's our governing line, the Ren, that's our nourish line, 6 arm meridian lines and leg meridian lines. Now we hold it for 5 seconds. Last one, we'll try to hold for 10 seconds. Water. Ideally, we'll do warm water. I always like flavored water, so I put fresh lemon, just a touch of fresh lemon in it. So fall is a season of harvest. A part one of our harvest, and it really is that let's do an overall and let's see what we have learned so far. So what is the most important concept in traditional Chinese medicine? You all are with me for, well, our teaching is over 10 months now, so we have covered the fair amount of the basics. So what have we discovered in traditional Chinese medicine? When you say, hey, I am a Dr. Lu's Nourishing Life follower, and what does that mean? What does my people, what does that mean? That means that we understand and we really that resonate with us that the most important concept is we are one with nature. Nature is in us. We are with nature. We call that Tian, the heaven, the nature, Ren, the person, He Yi, unity. We're not separate from, we're not masters of. We are a part of nature. So because the ancient Chinese or Asians, they understand so deeply of this concept, then they begin to really, they do a lot of observations. They say, actually, there are two basic energies in the universe, in nature, the energy of yin and energy of yang. So the first thing we say is Tian Ren He Yi. The nature and us people, we're in one, we're in unity. And then we say, then we begin to seek and search the patterns and what is the flow of nature. And then we discover there are actually just are two opposite and yet interchangeable energies. That's our energy of yin, energy of yang. Okay, so that's how the nature really is basically made of, just this two opposite and yet interchangeable energy. That's what we call qi yu or shi yu, yin yang, yin and yang. And they are in everything, and they are constantly changing. Yin will become yang, yang will become yin. we need both of this energy in us. We are made of these two opposite and yet interchangeable energies. So then we understand that. We say, then what's the next? Next is 合于术数. What does that 合于术数means? Means that we begin to develop those methods, right? The acupuncture is a method. The gua sha is a method. Meridian line petting, they're all methods. Combing, they're all methods. And the energy movements, they're all methods. Qigong, they are methods. Yoga is method. So we use this method to follow the rhythm of nature. So that is, then the other concept is that, okay, so then what does doctor or healers do? That really is to, well, we'll go into this further, but later. But so then we just develop this methods. We say then to understand and to follow the rhythm of nature, to truly be one with, then we must have this method to help us to imbalance with nature, right? So what are those basic methods besides what's in the medicine we use, acupuncture, cupping, and all this, and what can people, a regular person do? And we say, then you rise and sleep in the regular hours, and that's a very important method. It's really worth mentioning, right? We say 起居有常, and then not just that, but you follow every 2 hours. We explained you have a manager. That means that organ system is the strongest, is try to guide you. And then every 5 days, there's small change. Every 15 days, there's bigger change. And we have 4 seasons. So we really live with season. So that means 起居有常. So from every day when you should rise and when you should go to sleep, how long you should sleep, what position you should be sleeping in, and to follow the energy every 5 days and every 15 days to follow the change, so you can really take advantage of what nature provides us. And 食饮, and then the other thing is you gotta really pay attention with your diet. 食饮有节, right? What you should be eating, what you shouldn't be eating. So that is another very important thing. And the other thing, the ancient medical doctors or the yellow emperors told us, 不忘坐牢. So when you go to work, either in the field or you have a trade, then you do not deplete your energy. You do not deplete your heart energy, your mind energy. You do not deplete your physical energy, that you understand what you can and cannot do. So these are the basic things in traditional Chinese medicine that all of us should follow, right? We understand now, we understand we truly are a part of nature. So then we have no other choice but for us to be well. It really is that we really need together to protect nature, to make nature well. Because when nature is unwell, then that inevitably our health will be influenced negatively. So when that happens, and then what we will need to practice is we call 小周天, is the small safe environment. So within this small and safe environment, we still follow the basic rules of that 5 basic rules. And we just, it's a, nourish your life is really every day you have this rhythm, you have this routine, you have discipline, and you know what to eat, you know when to get up, you know how your body is a part of this nature and follow the rhythm, and you practice. Why do we practice? For instance, our 10 energy movements that is based on, there is a 八段锦, 8 movements. 八段锦 is based on 易筋经. 易筋经 is a Taoist exercise. What does 易筋经 means? 易筋经 actually means from mortal to immortal. What does that mean? That means you could breathe as if you were never born. Again, that is another topic for another day, right? Because this is a concept that people believe that we're all given 3 levels, right? The top level, and all of us can live 120 to 150 years. And middle level, all of us can live about 100, and the lower level is 80. So when people die prematurely, and that because their systems, the systems that the elements in our systems and the meridian lines and the blood systems, and it has too much stagnation and inflammation and toxins. And the healers and the doctors, the role of it is really help to understand what's going on in nature and bring it home to say, look, if you do this, and you will be part of that rhythm, and then that will decrease the possibility of getting ill, and will increase the possibility of stay well. And if you walk away from nature, if you are no longer a part of nature, then you will not be able to keep yourself well. If we look at what modern society, then what people have created together is that unwisely, that the majority of people have walked away from nature, believe that they are above nature. So then if you look at what's happening, and that is the result. So what we will do is we need to go back to understand what is nature intended, how to be a part of nature so we can be well with nature. So that really is the core of traditional Chinese medicine. It's more than a medicine, it's a lifestyle. It teaches people how to use what is given to really activate self-healing, really activate that healer in us, that inner voice, so we could be a part of nature, we could be a part of what is out there. So then, again, that diet is important. Last week that we talked a lot about food, that I was, I don't know, Sarah, you were able to post that or not.
Yes, I sure can, Dr. Liu. Would you like me to upload it one by one?
Yep, just
Okay.
to let people know what I had for lunch.
Let's see.
So these are my Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays lunch. You can see every day I have a little protein, I have a little rice. I can show you where I got the rice, where I get the clay, organic clay rice maker. That is really awesome. You can also make your own yogurt with that pot. I have a lot of vegetables. The vegetables I introduced you to last time, the radishes and among other things, and go out and get some beets this week, get some radishes if you can, get some shiitake mushrooms. Do you know if you eat 2 or 3 shiitake mushrooms daily, that is full of antioxidants and cancer prevention ingredients in there, and that is just super awesome. And also the butternut squash is in season. That is really good. You can bake it. cauliflower is in season, and that is something good for your lungs and good for your colon. You can cook that with chicken, you can bake that, you can do a lot with that. Just, bok choy is in season, and a lot of great vegetables, and they are bowing out, but they are still in season-ish, bowing out. So go and get some and really see what I eat every day, huh? Do you eat like that? If you don't, make sure that you start to cook more and do more. And we can share recipes, and we can, share the ideas of what we're excited to eat. And now the pears are still in season, and Michigan has great apples, and go get some apples. So do that. And then what I really try to encourage people, then you'll be like me, you'll be so excited about food every day, right? So excited about your pooping, so excited about getting 8 hours sleep. And then what is the most important thing. And we don't think that is my Thursday's lunch, I think. And I should post that recipe, how to do a properly boiled peanuts. And that is really good, especially if people who have blood deficiency, we're going through either you're nursing or you're going through menopause or menopause for men, and that is a great dish. And then this cabbage dish, and that is really good for people who really like spicy things. And if you can see my shiitake mushroom chicken.
It's coming up, hold on.
So just be creative. And then the other thing is that, this 10 months, if it's anything, then we all should have a comb by now, and we comb our meridian lines, and we either use this or we use a gua sha tool, or you use the pair of walnuts, right? And just to kind of do some meridian line massage is important. And meridian line tapping every day, right? If you say, oh, I really want to open up my due meridian line, and open up your due meridian line. I want to strengthen my lungs, then cut the lung meridian lines, right? We have all those information. Oh, look at my beautiful watermelon radish. Isn't that gorgeous? And fennel, cucumbers, and golden rice, and these are just taste so good. So then use this tool. And then the other thing is, don't forget to use herbs. This is a herbs that has over 500 years history. It has been tested, has historical validity, and we transformed into modern use. I think that you were all with me when we showed you how to do how we develop the formula and how long it takes to develop a formula. Look at my cilantro chicken. Have you ever tried cilantro chicken? And shiitake mushroom with bok choy, and they're really, really good. They're good. And then those little radishes that in herbal sauce, they're all very delicious. So make sure you use that every day. So that's important. Okay, so this is what we have learned, and I think we all can harvest, knowledge from our ancient wise people, and keep put into our daily practice. I will leave some time for you to ask questions. My longevity noodles for Chongyang Festival. That is a festival to double honor our elderly, because we should honor our elderly every day, but that Chongyang Festival just double honor them. So you see that longevity noodle. I should post that longevity noodle recipe. It's a really super easy to cook and it's delicious. The red represent happiness, right? There's a little beef in there, represent wealth actually. And so the whole thing, the noodles, that's longevity noodles, is really long, that represent longevity. So ask me questions. And then I think the next phase of teaching is that we may go into, that's my organic rice maker. And you gotta really get a pot. I can give you the information. They're not expensive at all, but they cook beautiful, really delicious rice. This is organic clay. You gotta cook your rice in clay pot because they taste different. So, and then the next phase, we may talk a little bit about philosophy. And after that, will be more kind of illness-based teaching, right? What are you going to do if your kid has diarrhea, right? What are you going to do if you feel you have a lot of gas? And we'll share cases and the real cases, and then we'll show people how the diagnostic part is done and what are the things that you can do at home. So not everything that deserves that heavy medicine, yeah.
Quick question for you, Dr. Liu, just real quick before we wrap up. Sometimes I have family members who say, oh, you're doing too much. You know, we've all lived through these times and ate all kinds of foods and did all kinds of things, and we turned out okay. Can you talk a little bit about just the many ways that our soil is changing, our environment is changing, and how that might necessitate that we take a much more active role in our health?
So your parents' generation, I think we live, well, I guess many generations, many people says we live in a time like no other, but this is really, we live in a time like no other, because together, I think since Industrial Revolution, that we really find a way collectively to deplete Earth, right? So we open the box of greed and a lot of other things. So the earth is depleted. There's not enough nutrients. So we must go back, and so we become really estranged from, right? We are not a part of nature anymore. We don't really care anymore. A lot of people don't care nature anymore. So that, I think that disconnection is very concerning, because what they live through is not going to be what we are going to live through, or your children is going to live through. That's different, because back then it may be periodically here and there, the earth is depleted, the war was going on, but now it's different. Now is the earth is depleted. So this morning I had this really interesting conversation with my apple guy, you know, the farmer I always get my organic apples from. So he said to me, he said, you know, I must, for years I'm farming organic, but I must do this, because he said many years ago when my father visited me in the US, and we still use the pesticides and all this, because we saw that as progress, right? Before the tree produced 100 apples, after we do this, produce 1,000. So we thought it was progress. And he said, my father put himself, he just lies in the soil, he just cries. He says, you are killing the earth, you are killing the soil. He said, I just thought my father was crazy. You can't stop us being, you know, progressives. But he says, now I understand. He said, now I'm older. And he says, well, 20 years ago, I have this, I understand. I am killing earth. I am killing the soil. He says, that's really motivated me to change. It's really not like I can sell more of each pound of the apples, but with my conscience, I cannot do that. And I said, wow, that's how I feel. That's how we feel in monasteries, because generation after generation, we never will harm soil, because that really is what the food is our life dependent on it. So until we really regain that connection, until we feel the pain, the suffering of the earth, and I don't know if what else we will continue to ruin it instead of to serve it. So one, if they're saying, well, we lived this through, tell them, no, you haven't. Because we are at where each generation, what they're going to live through, it will never be experienced before, unless the connection is made again.
Dr. Liu, I think the pandemic caused such isolation for so many people and such disconnectedness. How do we bring people to a place where they can feel a part of something more, like a part of something whole, something bigger than themselves, because I think that that's a necessary step before they're able to then sort of have that connection, to nature, to something even greater? Or am I thinking of that just too short term?
Forget about try to connect with another human being. Just go outside and either your backyard or a little plot you have or whatever, just look at the soil, look at the trees, look at the life. Forget about connect with other people. Just go back to basics. The basics is not between people and people. The basics is look within and connect to earth. That's the basic. Go out, touch the soil, and let the soil touch you. You will see the power and you will feel the power. The isolation is not, oh my God, I can't have a glass of wine with my, I don't know who. The isolation is I no longer feel I am a part of nature. So that can be easily reconnect if you just go out, just touch it. Because the earth, as ill as we make the earth, there's still love, there's still compassion, there's still power of love is waiting for us. So that is what you need to do.
That seems like a very good place to start. Thank you very much.
So until next time, my people, now go outside, touch the earth.
Thank you, Dr. Liu. Thank you, Sarah.
I'm heading outside right now.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Dr. Liu.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Liu. Thank you, Sarah.